I've always thought the story of America in the 20th century is best told from its roadways. And there's no roadway quite like the old Spanish Trail, known as US 90, follows the current Interstate 10, and it went from Florida all the way to Los Angeles. Right there in West Texas, we find the town of Fort Stockton. Fort Stockton is rich in roadside relics. One of those is the Spanish Trail Lodge, seen from this postcard from so long ago. Back then they called this stretch of 90 290. And right there, standing about 50 yards from the front of the Spanish Trail Lodge, is this gigantic 22-foot long arrow pointing the way to a landmark of travel when travel was much less complicated. There are people who might say this sign, in all its rusted sophistication, should stay forever. As it turns out, another dollar store, the scourge of the world, is about to begin construction on this site, and they had no use for this old sign. So with Leo's help, we started early in the morning trying to take down this monumental sign. Just so another dollar store that robs communities of their identity can build in this site. Some guys about 500 miles away were interested in this sign, if we could get it down without tearing it up. And I'll have to say, Leo is impressive, figuring out a delicate equation between balance and weight, and wind, and safety. Sure would like to have seen what the neon looked like on this sign, and after hours and hours of research on the internet, we can't seem to find one photograph of what this sign actually looked like back in the day. It was amazing to watch how two straps could hold up this entire sign, poles and everything. And it was our job to stay out of the way, but we felt like it needed to be documented, watching this monument touch the ground after all these years. It was so long, 22 feet from tip to tip, I had to take the arrow apart just to get this loaded on the trailer, because I had a long drive ahead of me. On a two-sided sign, we always look for the good side and the not so good side of any sign. It was hard to figure out which side was better. Felt like in another 5 years you wouldn't even be able to read Spanish Trail Lodge. You can barely read it now. I'd looked at the forecast and knew we had to get everything secured. We had a long drive to a very busy place. They call it the Round Top Antique Fair. Twice a year in East Texas, thousands and thousands of people come from far and wide, all over the country, for antiques, collectibles, vintage items, you name it, it's there. Buyers and sellers, bumper to bumper. There is nothing quite like Round Top.
We bought this stool to repair.
We have bought wagon wheels.
It has no seat.
We have bought a cow
Treasures.
skull.
We have bought treasures.
And we got a deal on it too.
Lots of stuff.
We have a mermaid, a baby scale.
Railroad lantern.
It's going on my daughter's wall in her bedroom somewhere.
I bought some horns because we're going to put them in our outdoor kitchen.
It is a giant clamshell with an enormous pearl. It weighs about 3,000 pounds. It is a monster.
I just bought it, full of dirt dabblers and everything.
That's the hot fashion now, is turning stuff into junk, into stuff.
USA Department of State diplomatic pouch. Who knows what they carried in this?
It is a simulator out of an old cockpit, and we just thought it was different, and we bought it.
Miles and miles and miles of things that had former lives, and people who have a passion for anything vintage. We finally got to Round Top early in the morning, And our buddies with Liquid Fire Neon from Nashville, Tennessee, were expecting the Spanish Trail Lodge sign in all its pieces. I love it when something rusted and dented and bent is being cared for like it's a rare glass antique. Nobody wants any more scratches or dents. And as far as the sign has come, from one end of Texas to the other end of Texas, it's now going to be on its way to Tennessee. We know that it'll be in good hands with these guys. Liquid Fire usually replaces the neon and stabilizes the cans so that these signs can live on forever. For us, every time we fall in love with a sign, take it down, there's that little feeling of loss to see it go. I don't guess you can hold on to everything, and I don't guess you can have any effect on what's happening to some of these empty lots across the country. The dollar store will be built, the lot will be paved, and only the old-timers will remember this magnificent sign pointing the way to the Spanish Trail Lodge, Fort Stockton, Texas.